How's it going, guys? Today I'll be showing you how to use the Array Modifier in Blender. Let's delete everything in the scene so we have some space to work with. First thing I'm going to do is create a cube so that we can then apply the modifier to it. So I'm going to press Shift and A. I'm going to go under Mesh and select Cube. Now with the cube selected, I want to go to the Modifiers tab in Blender, which is this little spanner over here. Select it and select Add Modifier. You can press the Array Modifier over here, or for a little shortcut, just press A on the keyboard. Now that the modifier has been created, we can now see that our cube looks a little different. We can turn up the count of the modifier, and now we've just duplicated the cube a few times. We've duplicated it 5 times. We can also come over here and select the distance between the cubes, and we can also see that if I select the cube and I press Tab to go to edit mode, which can also be selected through here, I can then select a face and I can delete the face, and what happens to this mesh has happened to all the meshes because they're all duplicates of this one main mesh over here. Right, so I want to go out of edit mode by pressing Tab, Control Z to undo what we just did in edit mode. What we're going to do next is create a little staircase with these cubes. So I'm just going to make sure that this is 1, and this also has a value of 1. So what we've just done is that we made sure that on the x-axis that it had a distance of 1, and on the on the z-axis it goes up exactly 1 block. Very quick, very simple. What we're going to do now is have the cubes go around a circle. So what we're going to do is that we're going to make we're going to move our cubes to a new layer by pressing M on the keyboard. We're going to select the next layer, and if we come down to over here, we can then find our cubes that we've just moved to the new layer. I'm going to back to the original layout we were on. I'm going to press Shift and S to bring the cursor back to the center. Shift A to create a new cube. Select it. I'm going to move it GY. Grab it and move it on the Y-axis to about there. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift Alt C. This will bring up the Set Origin menu, and I'm just going to set it to 3D Cursor. So now the origin of the object is right over here on top of the 3D cursor. So now if we rotate our object, you'll see it's not rotating as you would normally expect it to rotate. So now I'm going to press Shift A again, and now I'm going to go under where it says Empty, and I'm going to select Plane Axis. What you want to do is have this cube rotate around the axis, but with the Array Modifier. So what I'm going to do is select the modifiers over here, select Array. I'm going to set the count to something a little bit more like 10. Now I'm going to select Object Offset, select this little icon, and select the empty. Next, what we want to do is select Constant Offset and untick this Relative Offset. Now that we've done that, I'm going to bring up this number. You can either put in the number yourself, or you can drag with your left mouse button. I'm going to select the empty, and I'm going to rotate it by pressing R and Z, rotate it on the Z axis. I'm going to bring it all the way around until all the cubes rotate in a perfect circle around the empty. And that's how you make a perfect circle with an empty and an Array Modifier. And this can be pretty helpful if you want to make something such as propellers. You only need to make one propeller. So you can select the face of the cube, and you can press E to extrude, and you can bring it down to the center, somewhere around there. And we can now make something that looks something like propellers. Now the last thing we're going to do is that we're going to make the cube follow a curve. So I'm going to press M to move to the next layer. I'm going to delete this empty because we don't need it anymore. Actually no, I'm going to move this empty to the next layer as well. Press Shift A, and let's make a new cube. Now I'm going to press Shift A again, select Curve and Bezier. Press Z to go into wireframe, and there's our Bezier curve right in the middle of our cube. And press Tab to go into edit mode, select this end of the Bezier, I want to move it out. Left click to place it, E to extrude it again, and left click to place it. And this side I'm just going to E to extrude again and place it somewhere around there. Tab to get out of edit mode, select the cube. Next thing we want to do is go to the modifiers, and once again select the Array Modifier. Currently it's on fixed count, but we're going to change that to fit curve. We want to select the curve that we want to go along. And now if I select the curve and I go to edit mode and I start dragging around the end, you can see it's now controlling the cubes, but it's not following the curve like it should just yet. So I'm going to press edit mode to get out of there, select the cubes again, and now we're going to add a curve modifier. So we're going to add modifiers and select curve. We're going to select this little dropper and we're going to select the curve. And now we've got our cubes following this curve, and we can actually start adjusting this curve and the cubes will continue to follow it. We can press E to extrude, press Z to get out of wireframe. You can see as we're following the curve. We can also have a gap. Press tab to get out of edit mode, select the cubes and bring down this number. So actually bring up the number, and you can see that we can now have a gap in between the cubes. So that's it guys, I'll show you 3 things you can do with the Array Modifier. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching guys, cheers.